Hello again, everyone. It's just another day in the life as a military wife, and this is my 100th episode. So, we're going to have a little bit of fun and talk about some of the most listened to episodes. And yeah, it kind of surprised me. I lost track of how many episodes I had done, and it was about a month ago that I realized I was approaching 100. So, we're going to have fun. As always, I am your host, Sam Wolf, and this is Life of a Military Wife. So I'm going to try not to get distracted, mostly because baby cuteness is being super cute and cooing in the background. But I'll play with her as soon as I'm done with this. Anyway, so yeah, 100th episode, really excited. I'm really just can't believe how big this has grown and the response I've had to the podcast and everything. So kind of wanted to share why I started this podcast and um some of the favorite episodes and where we're going in the future, hopefully, with all of this. So um I started this podcast about 2 years ago. Yeah, just over 2 years ago now. And it was something that had been on my mind for a long time. I've been a military spouse for quite a while. I have my degree in family life. Um, got a little bit of experience, and very frequently I was working with or helping assist new military spouses in negotiating life. And, military life is something that takes some adjusting. And I realized I was answering a lot of the same questions over and over again. And I kept thinking, oh, it'd be really nice if I had like a podcast or a resource I could send them to. And there are blogs and there are resources you can look up and read. But oftentimes, or at least in my case, a podcast is so much more effective because I can listen to it while I'm taking care of kids or driving or doing like household stuff. And so I can kind of listen and take care of what I need to take care of. So that's what kind of got me thinking about a podcast. The issue was I've not done stuff like this before. I had done a little bit of sound editing, just kind of freelance fun stuff on my own, but I had not used a lot of these equipments or made recordings like this before. However, thankfully, I have a fantastic husband who is massively supportive and really good at researching things. And finally, I confessed. I I told him about this, idea I'd been kicking around, and he's like, "Okay, let's make it happen." And he did. He was fantastic. He helped me find a fantastic mic and equipment and software and all sorts of things, and you just get it all figured out. And it's made this whole process so much easier. And then I was really blessed. I have a fantastic niece who is a professional um artist. She makes designs logos and things like that for people. She does commissioned art, and so she made the logo for the podcast. um so that's just kind of how I got started. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm Before I get started, I want to at least see if I have ideas. What's the sustainability of this? Because I don't want to just start a podcast, do like 2 or 3 episodes, and then quit because I just don't have any more material. And I sat down and I started making a list of things that I wanted to share. And I realized the list just kept getting longer and longer and longer and longer. And I'm like, okay, I have things that I feel passionate about. I feel that are important. So let's do this thing. And it's been really interesting. So basically I've got format three format topic sets that I hit. My degree, family life science, so interpersonal relationships, things with that sort of stuff, military life, how to navigate that, military topics in general, like the USO, SFRGs, all those sorts of things. Um, and then the other one is kind of the current events stuff. And the current event ones, people do tend to respond to, especially when there is legislation and different things that directly impact military lives. Um, but I seem to get a biggest response from the interpersonal relationship stuff. And that led me into, I met another podcaster, and her name is Maria Strange. She is got her degree in, oh golly, she's gotten it since I known her. And plus Maria, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on this. But anyway, she's a life coach. She's fantastic. And her and I started talking and we decided to collaborate and start doing webinars, web-based seminars, teaching different life skills and stuff. And normally we do those twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall. This year we put a pause on the spring webinar just because she's in the middle of a move and I just had a baby. So we will be back. Don't worry. We will be back with another webinar come fall, and I'll be pushing all that information out to y'all, and super excited about that. But yeah, started coordinating with her on those sorts of things. Was able to get some business cards out, start networking. I've had the opportunity to interview a few people. I've got some more interviews set up, and I've been working on some collaborations with other people. But by and large, I'm just really grateful for all of the feedback I get from listeners. I get quite a bit of feedback from listeners on different topics. I've also had people recommend things, topics, and stuff that they feel like would be interesting to cover. And so that has been really helpful. I'm really grateful for that because honestly, the whole reason I'm doing this is for you guys. I want to help people and I want to cover things that are helpful. So, this is my plug. I really would like to, in the next 100 episodes, I would like to start answering questions. So, if you have questions that you want to pose to me and you'd like me to answer in a podcast episode, please send them my way and I'd be more than willing to include them. If you have a question about military life, you're probably not alone. Someone else probably has that same question as well. So please shoot it my way and let's see if we can help you get it answered. That all said, the other thing is we have a community and I've had the opportunity to recently work with some wonderful people in our church who've come to kind of help support the military family, but previously didn't have a lot of connections with the military family. And it's with military families and military life and culture. And I've found that it's helpful to explain the nuances because we really do have kind of our own subculture as military families and military personnel in general. And so that's another part of what I hoping is being accomplished with this podcast is reaching out to individuals who would like to better understand the needs and perspectives and ins and outs of the military community. So that's part of what I include. And then just interpersonal relationship and family stuff. I mean, most people have families and friends and coworkers and people they have to work with. So if I can share stuff that I've learned with my degree program or current research or things like that, that's going to help you, I want to do that. That all said, I want to kind of briefly overview my top 5 most popular episodes, and this is excluding the current event ones. I am talking about more of the themed topic ones. So the most popular episode, not surprising, is the What I Wish I Knew, and it is my first episode and it talks about what I wish I knew before we got into the military. And I surveyed a lot of other military families and pulled in some different responses from different people about what they wish they had known. Just things that you wouldn't even think about, like, tipping your bagger at the commissary or making sure you show up early and you plan extra time to show up early for everything. Just random things like that. The other one, the next most popular episode is long distance dates. And this one is really popular, but not just with military, with everyone. Um, but yeah, long distance dating is a thing that you do a lot in the military. My husband and I are still having to do long distance dates. Um, we started dating long distance when we first started dating. We'd known each other prior, but we were only in the same town for like a week. I was home visiting family for college for like a week or two, and then I went back to college and we dated long distance for quite a while before we got engaged and everything. In fact, actually, most of our dating and engagement, we were dating long distance. The first part we were in different states, and then the second part we were like about an hour away from each other. So, I mean, not as long distance the second time. So, anyway, we've got practice, and I really loved that topic. And I like going back to it and adding ideas to my list. So, if you guys want, I could probably post that list on the Facebook for everyone, but it's a good one to go back and look at. The next one is Loose Lips Sink Ships, and it's about operational security. And this one is super important in general because even if you're not in the military, you have a friend or a family member who's in the military, it's good to know what questions they just can't answer. It's not like they're being coy or we have like some cliquish elitist club. It's we just really can't. And there's legitimate reasons why. And then also the history behind that military doctrine of operational security. And so, honestly, I had a lot of fun putting that episode together because I learned things and I really like researching. I love history. I really just do. Um, the next one is Burnout is Real. And it was that one talking about just burnout and how to work on it and self care. And that's important for anyone. I think sometimes you can be a little too self focused. Sometimes your problems come from being so self focused, but then there are some times where you need to kind of take the airplane advice and put the mask on yourself before you help someone else. And self care is a factor in that. And being able to help others. Self care isn't all about focusing on yourself all the time, it's about focusing on yourself enough so that you can be a functioning, happy person, so that then you can go out and help others become functioning, happy people and make the world a better place. To me, that's the goal of self care. Self care, I care for myself so that I can care for others. And then the last one is Courage Isn't the Absence of Fear. And that one is another one I stumbled across some really fantastic research that I had not really thought of before. And even though I have a degree in family life science, human development, that sort of interpersonal relationship stuff, um, there is always more stuff for me to learn. There's always new stuff that I run into that I find fascinating. And when I do find that stuff, I like sharing it. And so talking about the different types of courage was really fun. Because again, I got to explore something that conceptually I had already known, but hadn't had the opportunity to really dive into as much as maybe I would have liked to. And I got the chance to learn something and grow in my understanding and then share that with you. And I really do enjoy doing that. Um, like I said, this list did not include the news episodes, but I tried to share those things with you because I have come to realize my perspective is that a lot of military spouses or family members of military members don't always understand, or a lot of the legislation or current events that directly impact military families, military readiness, or just military in general tend to not be headline news, tend to not catch the greater public consciousness. And that's unfortunate because these things do have a place and a relevancy to them. And so I cover those things, especially I try to cover those things in a timely manner so that it can help you. And again, like I said, maybe you are not personally in the military or but you might have a friend or a family member who has served or is serving. And if you're able to pass that information on to them and help them out, that to me makes it worth it. So that's where I'm at. Like I said, there's some really great collaborations coming up. There's also been a lot. It feels like there's a lot of really hard-hitting current events that have happened in the last few weeks that I want to share with you guys, but it's prioritizing the ones that are of the biggest impact because it can get kind of overwhelming, and I don't want to overwhelm you guys at the same time. I want to find a balance in what I talk about. So, that really is kind of the whole thought process about why I'm doing this and what I cover and all those sorts of things. Um, Maria and I will be doing a collaborative episode in place of our webinar this spring. So you don't worry, you'll hear from Maria again. Yeah. And there's some other people who want to be on some stuff, still hearing back from some other people and arranging some other things. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. So don't worry about any of that. I've also heard from people, they're like, oh, we want to know more about baby cuteness. And she is just having a ball right behind me, just kicking and playing with her little rattle. Um, Come summer, it's going to be a little interesting to see how I balance recording with all the kids at home. I'll probably be doing late night recording like I am right now, just because it's easier that way. Otherwise, the kids, well, the kids want to contribute. And maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, but it would be kind of chaotic. They like to all talk on top of each other. And so it's not really easy to understand them. Um, anyway, and so just trying to get these out to you consistently, trying to be consistent. Summer is coming and I also want to just throw this out to everyone. If there is a topic you would like me to cover, please feel free to shoot me a message through Facebook, email me, contact me, just let me know. If there's a topic you're particularly interested in, as well as if you have any questions about military life or something that's impacting the military as well. Thank you for all the listeners who've reached out and said, hey, this is interesting. Maybe you could cover it. I have been really grateful for those. I'm also grateful for other YouTuber moms. Some of them are homeschoolers and some of them are just moms who have given me content suggestions, like my 5x5 reading challenge and whatnot. So, this is a community and it's a family, and I just want to kind of keep building. Let's keep building, let's keep kind, and yeah, just keep supporting everyone. So, I want to thank you guys. Again, like I said, I'm doing this for you. If there ever comes a day where I feel like it's not helping people like I want it to, then I will probably move on to other things. But for now, um, I am constantly being reminded that this is a help and that's what I want it to be is an opportunity to share and grow and um, strengthen each other. So that all said, I'm going to just wrap it up for this week. Yay, 100 episodes. I'm super, super excited. Listeners, yeah, share this with friends, share this with anyone you feel who will be helpful. It'll be helpful for them. And Thank you for all the support because honestly, I do this for you guys. I will completely admit this, and this is my last little side note before I wrap up. I'm an extrovert. I like talking to people. I actually like, making eye contact and having conversations and all that stuff. So this is kind of a little strange for me to be sitting in a room by myself or just with baby and kind of talking to myself. Um, and I would much rather be talking to you guys in person, but this is the best way for me to reach the most people. So I'm going to do it, even though it's a little awkward. But yeah, that's the intro. I'm not an introvert. I'm very much an extrovert. The extrovert in me would rather talk to you all in person. Um, so, yeah, shoot me a comment, send me messages if there's any topics you want covered or questions you have. And if you're okay with it, I might even read your question on an episode. So, thanks again for everything. And as always, you have been listening to Life of a Military Wife, and I am your host, Sam Wolf.